Hey, Mark from Sound Matters here, talking all things vinyl. As always, I've got a turntable review for you today. It's the LP3XBT by Audio-Technica. It's an automatic turntable and it's enabled with Bluetooth connectivity as well. So let's get straight into the review and see what the LP3XBT is all about. Audio-Technica's LP3 turntable has been around for some time now. It's a popular option for those who are looking to add vinyl playback to their system without the hassle that comes with operating a manual turntable. But the XBT model is new and brings some improvements to the forefront. Let's take a look at what they've added. You get Bluetooth connectivity, of course. You have the new AT-VM95 series of cartridge, which has that easy pop on and pop off stylus upgrade ecosystem. So it comes with the base conical stylus, but you can easily improve that by adding an elliptical or a nude elliptical, or go all the way up to a ciabatta stylus if you really want to. But I think at this level of turntable, it's probably a little bit over the top, but certainly an elliptical stylus would be a welcome improvement, which you can do very easily yourself. And you now have the external AC adapter. So instead of that power conversion being handled inside the chassis of the turntable itself, it's external. So that's good for reducing overall system noise. So the turntable itself comes in black or in white, like the one that I have behind me here. I can't help but feel that the white version of it has this kind of futuristic Jetsons kind of vibe about it, particularly with this kind of curved form factor that it has at the front. This plinth, by the way, is damped to help control resonance. The platter is made of aluminum or aluminium, as I would say in the UK. So it does have some resonant qualities to it, but there's a very generous thick mat that they supply, which seems to do a pretty good job of damping all of that stuff down. Unlike many cheaper automatic turntables, the LP3XBT has a proper 8.6-inch straight tone arm with a real counterweight and anti-skate dial. Also welcome is the detachable headshell, which makes swapping out to a mono-specific cartridge very, very simple and easy. Now, it has to be said that automatic turntables have a reputation for typically occupying the more sort of budget, entry-level area of the turntable market. And although this is a very affordable turntable at $300, what we're seeing here is something that has very credible specs at this price point and is automatic. A lot of automatic turntables look much more like this, where you're essentially stuck with the cartridge it comes with. This is Audio-Technica's own LP60, which is a good entry-level automatic turntable, but it is much more of a dead end. You can replace the stylus on this, but you can't have that same upgrade ability in terms of trying out new cartridges if you wanted to. Also worth mentioning is that with a proper tone arm comes a proper cue lever. So when you want to cue up specific tracks or operate the turntable manually, you've got a real cue lever to do so, rather than with the LP60, which is a simple push button on the front of the unit to raise or lower the tone arm. So overall, this is a much more sophisticated tone arm, and when you consider that the LP3XBT is just $80 more than the Bluetooth enabled LP60 equivalent, then it starts to make this turntable look like very good value for money. In operation, the LP3XBT works just as you'd expect it. It has simple stop and start buttons on the front. You can change the size of the LP for your automatic operation here, either 12-inch or 7-inch. So if you're playing 10-inch records, you will have to cue these up for yourself. The arm won't automatically move over to the right place. You can change the speed at the front here, which works independently to the size selector. So you've got no issue in playing your 45 RPM 12-inch singles or your 33 1/3 RPM 7-inch EPs, for example. There's a built-in phono stage which you can turn on or off at the back of the turntable, and there is of course the Bluetooth button on the left-hand side here, which you can get into pairing mode by simply holding down so it starts to flash, and then you pair up with your device as per the instructions in the manual of the device, the Bluetooth enabled device that you're pairing up. So overall, the LP3XBT is a real joy to use. It's very self-explanatory and it really takes the fuss away from playing records. The only thing I would say though, and there is no such thing as a perfect product, as we all know, is the buttons. They just kind of feel a little bit flimsy, a bit springy. They don't feel like they're going to break as such, but they don't feel luxurious. They don't feel high-end. Now on to the sound test. Until now, my experience with automatic turntables has always been one of great compromise on sound quality in exchange for convenience. Not so with the LP3XBT. Granted, this deck doesn't quite have the depth of detail and dynamics compared to something like my Project X1. The soundstage isn't quite as wide and large either, but that's not to say that the LP3 isn't extremely capable at performing at this price point. With the stock conical stylus, the sound was solid, warm and smooth on the top end. Much of this character can be expected with a conical stylus, as they do tend to have a woollier sound with less fizz and sparkle. Curious to hear how the green elliptical stylus might change this, I swapped the stylus out, which basically just slots on and off. And in doing so, the sound opens up noticeably, extending the top end and the mid-range musical detail. The stereo separation seems to improve also, and there's a cleaner, crisper quality to the sound, particularly in the high frequencies. The woolliness in the low end is replaced with something altogether more punchy and engaging. So given that you can upgrade to the green stylus for under $50, I recommend that you do this as soon as you can. In Bluetooth output mode or using the built-in phono output, the sound boxes in slightly and the instrument separation becomes slightly less defined. But you know, this is typical with any built-in phono stage. In a casual listening space, however, such as a living room, you'd be hard-pressed to tell the difference. If you want to get the best space, detail and dynamic range out of this turntable, then undoubtedly, as always, you should hook it up to a good quality external phono preamp. And when you do, you're in for a treat, because this turntable I think is a great performer at this price point. So to summarise, if you're seeking vinyl playback without the hassle of manual operation at an affordable price, then the LP3XBT is pretty hard to beat. Having spent around a month with this turntable in my living room, I did find that the automatic operation made playing records more inclusive, as my wife has never really felt confident using our manual turntable. Of course, in choosing an automatic turntable, you lose some of the ritual of playing records that many collectors enjoy. You'll also find that the auto lift will prevent you from hearing any locked grooves at the end of albums. Take Sgt. Pepper's as a classic example. So if this is an important part of the experience for you, then a manual deck is the way to go. In summary, this is a serious turntable that just happens to be automatic and will suit any collector that wants to enjoy their record collection with minimal fuss without compromising on sound quality. I have to say, I'm going to miss the convenience of the auto play and stop on Friday nights when we all select records and try to come together as a family and enjoy music. Whether or not this turntable is for you will come down to your wants and needs from the vinyl experience. As someone who does enjoy the ritual and process of a manual turntable, I went into this review feeling I was reviewing on behalf of record collectors with very different priorities to myself. By the end of the review, I was seriously considering swapping our manual living room deck for the convenience of this automatic turntable. Well, isn't that a turn up for the books? Thank you ever so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and comments down in that comment section as always. And before you go, check out the description of the video as always, where there's a whole bunch of discount codes to feed your vinyl hobby. That includes the likes of record cleaning products from Groove Washer. It includes sleeves from VSS, the best sleeves you can buy. It includes 12-inch record display systems like the ones that are behind me here. And it includes vintage vinyl from Vinyl Pursuit, plus much more. We've got Vinyl Moon in there as a subscription service. I get a very small commission at no extra cost to you, and I appreciate your support. But if you're new to this channel, please do consider subscribing. I look forward to seeing you into that next video, and until then, keep spinning.